It's been 3 years since we last recorded an episode of Refried Saints. I want to start this show by apologizing. It is my fault. We did not have what was last month? June. We did not have a June episode of Refried Saints because I got super busy and I completely forgot. It fell by the wayside, and by the time I realized what was going on, I was like, oh,
it was July.
It was, yeah. By the time I realized it, I was like, I screwed the pooch on that one.
Seriously, so. My June went by in such a and it's gone that I didn't. When you scheduled this one, I was like, well, it hasn't been that long since. No, actually, it's been over a month.
Yeah, it's been over. So I know you wailed and gnashed your teeth that there's no June episode, but we're back here in July to do The Ring and Ringu. Yes.
So this is the first time we've taken like a foreign film and it's an American remake.
We took a hard left on this one.
Yeah.
This is a good suggestion. Yet another Carol's Coast classic suggestion. Are we starting off with we're starting off with the Japanese version?
With the Japanese version, because that was 98. Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah. All right then. Are you ready to? Do you have anything that you want to throw out there before we get in this? You just want to hop right in?
We just hop right in. I think. Yeah.
Let's hop right in.
Let's do that. Ringu, 1998, based on a book which I have actually read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have an American adaptation of a Japanese adaptation of a book.
Of a Japanese book.
Yeah,
it was Japanese. So. Very.
So how close is this Japanese version to the book?
Not very. The overall story arc is similar. Mm-hmm. They radically change characters. The lead character in the book is male.
Oh, okay.
The child is an infant. His kid is an infant. His friend, because it's not an ex-husband or ex-boyfriend in the book, it's a friend.
Okay.
And his friend's a psychopath that rapes people. It's not a pleasant character.
Oh my! Well, I was not expecting this at all.
And there's a whole smallpox side note that adds to the strangeness of the virus that is Sadako.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, a lot was lost in translation when I read it. There's pages and pages of just mundane stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, did George R.R. Martin write this? Is this a Japanese synonym?
Just a whole bunch of feasts and who knows what else.
It was a very odd read.
Yeah.
But this kind of the story arc is
some of the beats are familiar.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right then. So which one did you see, the movie or did you read the book first?
I saw the movie. I saw Ringu first.
Uh-huh.
And then read the book.
Okay.
And then saw the American remake when it came out.
All right then.
Because it was like, I think 4 years later that they made the American remake.
Yeah.
It's 2002?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Yeah. That seems about when everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody was talking about it. All right, let's get into the 98 Ringu.
So
now, is Ringu just the Japanese word for ring?
For ring, yeah.
Okay.
And oddly enough, in the book and the Japanese movie, it's not referring to the ring, the well.
Is it referring to the ring of getting the tape around?
Yes, it's referring to the cycle of the virus.
I never even thought about that. It kind of does have a bit of a double meaning.
Because it's called ring, not the ring.
Yeah, the ring kind of makes it like a singular focus on one particular thing.
On that
ring
that shape. So we open up with 2 girls watching TV, just Japanese schoolgirls. Chatting like they do, and one of them says that she watched this really weird tape 1 week ago.
Awfully specific. Like,
yeah,
I watched this tape about dying in 7 days. 7 days ago.
No,
don't mind me.
They are talking about urban legends. And did you hear about this tape that kills you? And this strange woman looks at you. And so I watched it, and you'd think if you watched this tape and it told you that you're going to die in 7 days, you might be doing a little bit more than just sitting there with a friend watching TV 7 days later.
Well, you'd have to believe it, I guess, to really. Yeah, and that was the deal. No one was taking this shit seriously.
But it's Japan, and they do take this shit seriously.
Then we just have a lazy slack ass that watched this joint.
Whatever. I saw this tape. Gonna die soon.
Try to get in this last episode of TV first.
I need to know the end of this baseball game.
Do the Mets win?
So, they talk, and then her mother calls, and there's this whole little, "Oh, it's for you." And
it's a nice little fake out. And I love that there's the it's kind of like a double fake out, right? Because this is like the like the one girl starts to believe it, and she's like, you're fucking with me, but it actually is real. So you're like,
Right.
fake out, nope, fake out.
Right. So she goes back up into the room and she sees something that scares her to death, basically. And you get that photo negative.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. Even in '98, we could have done better than this.
Japan. I'm gonna
Production
be going,
budget $9.
Japan.
Yeah.
A lot. But so she dies. And they can't figure out what killed her. And we are introduced to her aunt, who is a journalist, and her name is Reiko Asakawa.
Yes.
Everyone was calling her Asakawa, and I was like, I know that's her last name.
Yeah, it's weird that everybody referred to her by her last name.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming that's a cultural thing.
Maybe it is.
But,
She
her
just
first
thinks
name is
of like
Reiko.
military people.
Yeah. But interestingly, I'm assuming she is a reporter on paranormal activity.
Right. That's kind of the vibe that I got.
Yeah, because she's interviewing schoolgirls about urban legends, and they bring up the tape.
Yeah. It seems I like that it's someone who already intrinsically has a foot in this world.
Right.
Which I think is why it was easier for her to believe that some shit was going to go down.
Then
Vice these girls are just like,
whatever.
They took it very lightly.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh, fuck, I got a week.
Yeah, so she's interviewing these girls, and they bring up the tape that kills you. And she's talking with her partner and asks, because they say, 3 kids from a certain academy died at the same time. And she brings up to her partner that they should investigate that, but then she hears that her nieces died at the same exact time.
Right, right.
So she goes home with her son. Her son's name is Yoichi.
Yeah.
Very independent young man.
Movies like that always creep me out, man. Anytime you got a kid that's like 6, but it's like mad self-sustained, that shit's freaky to me.
I'm going to question the parenting all around here. There's some questionable parenting choices.
There is. Oh, you're home from work. I fried us some chicken.
Yeah, I made dinner. I've laid out your funeral dress for you, Mom.
Right? Man, what have you not been doing that this kid is this self-sufficient?
And he's 6. He's in 1st grade, so he's 6.
Yeah. He's like, looks rough life out here.
Yeah, so he was very close to Tomo, who is the young girl that died. She used to babysit him. And so they go to her funeral, and it's sad. And her sister is like, I don't know what killed her. Nobody could tell me what killed her. They have to have a closed casket.
Yeah.
Because the look on her face was so
horrifying.
Horrific.
Yeah. Heart stuff.
And she goes up to, or Yuichi goes up to Tomo's room, and his mom goes up there and finds a receipt for some pictures. And decides her sister asked her to investigate. Because that's her job.
Yeah, she's dead, but what are the pictures?
Find out what killed her. So she tells Yoichi the next day, I'm going to be late. Get your own dinner.
Yeah, right. Cook that thing you like.
This kid, both movies.
Right? This kid's just like, oh, that's mom shenanigans. Got to fend for myself.
Yeah, walks himself to school.
Right.
Probably 3 miles all uphill. She goes to the picture. She picks up the pictures, and the pictures are showing a vacation spot,
right?
A group of cabins, and she goes there to find out what happened because she learns that all 4 of the kids that went to this vacation spot died at exactly the same time.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to be the first person to link this all together, but she's the first person. Like the cops aren't investigating this shit.
That is one of the things that struck me about both movies. I think the police would be more heavily involved.
Right.
They would be like,
they're just like, well, we don't know the fuck to it.
Now, all 4 kids die in weird ways.
Yeah.
But
and all these 4 are recently together.
Yeah. So I think the police would have been involved.
Right.
But she goes to the cabin. Now she has, before this, her and her partner, is that when they see the video of them opening the car with the other 2 kids?
No.
No, that's later on.
Yeah, that's later on.
Yeah, that's later on when she brings in the ex-husband.
First time is looking at these pictures is when we get the blurry faces.
The blurry faces, yes, because there's the pictures look fine until right at the last of the roll. And for those young ones out there, a roll of film was something you put inside of a camera and had to take to a processing plant to get your pictures back.
You don't say. That's that man. The cell phone, as we know it, killed the Kodak 1 hour photo hidden away in the Target of the CVS.
That's right, man. So
Sorry, film developers.
So she goes to the cabin, and she notices she's asking the guy who owns it, hey, did anything weird happen?
Yeah.
And she notices on his rack of VHS tapes. And for those young ones, VHS tapes were
What we had before DVDs.
DVDs, where you had to like adjust tracking and
Tracking.
yes. She notices a blank tape or one without labels.
Yeah.
And she decides that's got to be it.
That's got to be the murder tape.
Yeah, so she grabs it and goes back to the cabin. She rents the cabin and watches the tape. And it's a very weird tape.
It is.
In this version, you get, it's just a series of images. It's an image of a man looking down a well.
Yeah.
And,
as you do.
yeah, you do when you've thrown a body down.
Yep, there's a body down
spoilers. A man looking down a well. There's people milling around. There's like eruption written all over the place.
Yes.
There's an eye with Sada written in it. And then there's a man standing in a river pointing with a towel over his head.
Point the camera that way. Oh, yes.
This tape isn't quite as creepy as the remake.
Yeah, I agree. This one, it was just,
It's just kind of random. But
Yeah.
I think this probably fits more with the story. But whatever. She watches this tape and has a reaction to it and then gets a phone call telling her that she's going to die in 7 days.
Which, here's my issue.
What is Sadaka's cell phone coverage? What kind of cell phone coverage does she get down in the damn well?
And she's just like, somewhere she's like, oh, someone just watched it. Hey, switchboard operator, connect me with so-and-so.
I'll get into my issues with the whole thing after we summarize because
Sounds good.
This is what happens with my brain when I watch horror movies. I'll watch them and I'll be freaked out and then I'll think about them and I'm like, well, that just doesn't work, does it?
What did she charge this on? Yeah.
She's like, what if, 20 people watch? Does she call each one individually or does she just call one person and go, could you pass it on, please? You're all going to die.
Have you seen Bob lately? Let Bob know.
So she gets a phone call, freaks out, grabs the tape, freaks out, and goes home.
Right.
Because you've left your 6-year-old son to his. You probably should go home at some
Wait,
point.
no, didn't she? Did she leave him there? Or
Yeah,
he
this
was
is
with her dad
this is the day where she was just going to be late.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she pawns him off on Dad.
Yeah.
Because here's where she brings in the ex-husband. I want to make the Ryuji.
Yes,
Ryuji.
this guy Ryuji, played by
Hiroyuki
Ryuki
Sanada.
That dude has been in
Lots of things. Lost
of things.
is where he was Dogen and Lost.
He is. He's the Dogen in Lost. He's Nobu, the ninja from Daredevil,
Yeah.
and he most recently was killed by Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
He's a Silver Samurai in Wolverine.
Yep.
And from 1998 to 2019, he might have aged 10 years.
This dude, when I was watching this, I was like, that dude hasn't aged. This is 1998. This is literally 20 years ago, and he looks exactly the same.
Like when he first popped on the screen, I was like, oh, it looks like that guy, but it can't be that guy.
Because he
Yeah.
can't be that old, but he is. He's in his
is.
60s, late 50s, early 60s now.
I think he, as an Endgame, is just now finally starting to
start
show his age
to
a
little bit of lines to the eye, but here, I mean, he looks good.
And he's
Don't
also
know.
in Sunshine, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, he
Chris
is.
Evans joint.
Yes, he is.
Good movie.
That was a very good movie. But she brings him in.
We need to have somebody remake Sunshine just so we can talk about
Just so
Sunshine.
we can talk about Sunshine, yeah. Get on that, people. I don't care if it's like a fan film. Just
There we go. We're going to film it so we can talk
Cardboard
about
boxes.
it. People going crazy.
So she brings her ex-husband in. This is Yoichi's father.
Right.
I'm assuming he has absolutely no contact with this child.
That's the
because
assumption
the
that I have.
only contact he has in this film is they bump into each other on the street.
Is that the only time they're together at the
In
same?
this film, yes.
Oh, God, I didn't notice that. Yeah, and it was weird because they just kind of stopped.
They stop, look at each other, and okay.
So Yoichi doesn't know, I
I
assume.
don't think he
Yeah.
knows that that's his dad.
But he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
because he's asking her, how is Yoichi? And
Yeah, he's
you,
just like,
you leave him
"Sup,
alone
son?"
a lot. Well, where are you, Dad?
You left him alone all his life, haven't
Yeah.
you?
So she brings him in. To his credit, he immediately believes her.
Yes, he's just like, all right, well, this shit's weird. Let's do something
Let's do
about
this.
it.
But he's a psychic. He does say that he has a bit of psychic ability.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he teaches math. He's a teacher, but I'm assuming it's math.
We seem to write in a lot of equations and whatnot.
Yeah. So she brings him in to help because it's a paranormal thing and he's a medium. And he agrees to help her.
Yeah.
Because he immediately believes that she's going to die in 7 days. And then he watches the tape. So if you believe that she is going to die in 7 days, why are you watching the tape?
Yeah, I'd be like, can you paraphrase? Can you give me a
just tell me?
summary? Yeah, I'll listen to it around the corner.
Yeah. Maybe take some pictures.
some stills.
Snapshots from the film.
What did you think about the whole medium aspect of this movie?
Well, that was pretty integral to the book.
Okay.
So they kept that.
So I watched the American version first, where that's not the case, and then I watched this one, and I was just like, "What is this?"
That's a very
jarring.
It's jarring, but I kind of like figured that with the Japanese version, they would bring the paranormal they would bring in parapsychology and stuff like that. So it actually made sense to me.
Okay. That
this would center around a very strong medium, because that's pretty prevalent in the Japanese culture.
Word.
So, So they start to investigate, and that's when they find the video of the two of the kids that died, where the police open the car and the girl falls out.
Falls out, yeah.
Okay, so did they have to put her panties down around her knees? Was that necessary?
Yeah, what was happening in this car?
Well, obviously they had 7 days to live.
Look, we're going to spend this 7 days.
Oh my God, we got 15 minutes. Let's get
One's watching TV and one's like, look, we're going to get to it.
I don't want to die a virgin. So, she falls out of the car and she's got that horrified look on her face. So they decide they're going to investigate where the tape came from. So they break down the tape. She makes him a copy, which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to break it down. Right. And they center on the eruption still that comes up, because it's just Japanese for eruption. But actually what it is, and this is actually quite interesting, because she finds the actual newspaper clipping of an eruption on a small Japanese island.
Right.
And that is from the newspaper clipping, and it's just all jumbled on the videotape. Huh. It's the story. It's just all jumbled.
I didn't know. I didn't catch that.
So, I caught it this viewing. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, everybody's learned something right here on Refried Scenes.
Yeah, so they determined that the eruption is this volcano that erupted. Mm-hmm. That was, I think it was like 40 years ago? 40 years prior to when this is occurring. And it was predicted by a very powerful medium that was on the island. Mm-hmm. And they go to investigate the medium. And this is where it gets a little hazy for me, because I was starting to just because I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times. I don't know this one. I was starting to do other things. The island scene is kind of the draggy scene in this film.
Yeah, that's kind of when I started also doing it. Well, let's see, have it on Facebook real quick. Seeing movies like this, I always wonder, how does investigative journalism actually work? Because it's just like everything fell very much in place.
Yeah, in both movies, everything just like, here's this.
Is easy.
Here's
this. Is
this.
easy. Yeah,
this.
No cold trails, no doubling back to none of that.
Although they do kind of hit a cold trail on the island, because this is where the paranormal stuff really comes into focus, because they meet an old fisherman.
Yeah, a salty old bastard.
Yeah, who, because the islanders were talking about the medium, and they said, you need to talk to this guy. Mm-hmm. And he's just hanging out on the beach. And Ryuki has a vision. She goes into a trance and has this vision of the medium actually predicting things and being tested by this doctor.
Yeah. And then the whole room of people.
Of people going, she's a fraud.
Which they immediately switched from she's a fraud to witch. Oh, witch.
They want to just burn this lady at the stake. And the most vocal of the dude, the one who's just standing on his chair, throwing his finger around, suddenly just dies of a heart attack.
Real weird that.
And she blames, the medium blames her daughter, Sadako, who is also in the room. Most notably known for not having any hair tie at all.
no scrunchie.
There's no scrunchie.
Never went to Claire's.
No. Just hanging in her face the entire time.
feel sorry for the beauticians.
I know, but yeah, she says, Sadako, what have you done? And so you realize it's this young girl,
Right.
that's done it, and they realize. Pretty sure now. This is I'm reading subtitles on this film, and I do not speak Japanese. I'm assuming that old fisherman dude was the doctor.
That's also the assumption that I
Yeah.
got. Yes.
And that they don't go. There was an extramarital affair between him and the medium. They do mention that it was improper, and that Sadako is his daughter.
Yeah, the progeny of that
Right.
affair.
Yeah. In the book, it gets far more convoluted than that. But the medium actually kills herself after being declared a fraud, which she wasn't. Actually,
Yeah, which I'm like, wait, I don't think there's reason to kill yourself.
Yeah, she's declared a fraud and she kills herself.
Yeah.
Is this where they realized that Sadako was thrown in a well? Yes, because they realize they have to go back to the holiday resort.
Yeah, the cabin. Yeah.
Yes, the doctor getting really mad at Sadako and realizing that she's crazy and killing people with her brain.
Yeah, he's like, oh, she got to go.
He throws her down a well.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and she tries to claw her way out, but they don't realize that until a little bit later. So they thought that maybe she was thrown in dead, but no, she was definitely alive when she.
Which I mean, come on, man, do a solid and kill her first before
you throw her down the well.
Rude.
That's rude. That's very rude.
Etiquette to killing.
But they get this old fisherman guy because he realizes what's happening. He takes them to the mainland in the middle of a typhoon.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I thought he was gonna get wiped out right there.
And he doesn't.
And he doesn't. I was like, all right, old man, do your thing.
Okay.
Old man. Yeah.
I guess you just get to live on and.
Because that's the last time you see him, right?
Yeah, that's the last
like
time
he drops
you see
him
him.
off, and he's like,
He
I'm
drops
gonna
him
go
off.
be old now.
Yeah. Okay, live in your misery, I guess.
Live
Guess
in the
you
feta
haven't
juice.
seen the tape. Maybe you should watch this, sir.
Yeah. This is what she's been up to since you threw her in a well.
But they go back to the holiday resort, and they find a well underneath the cabin that the kids were in.
Right.
And they do the stupidest thing ever, which is we're going to try and remove all the water from this well with buckets.
Which, okay, like,
First
it
off,
would make sense if you had time.
if you have time,
But you don't.
She's got like an hour.
An hour, yeah. Well, let's keep going with these 2 buckets.
2 buckets, and they don't put her down there. It's like put her down the well too, and
Right,
she's
yeah.
trying to lift
He's
up all
got
these
the
heavy
muscle,
buckets.
yeah.
It's all, oh my God, you're just doing this all wrong.
All wrong.
All wrong. But it doesn't matter because he finds the remains of Sadako in the well. They switch places at some point.
Yeah.
Because he realizes
Because she passed out, so he
he climbs up because she's so weary.
Yeah. From hauling up
from
all
hauling
those buckets of water.
So he puts her down the well and they switch places. I'm like, yeah, you should have done that an hour and a half ago.
Right.
And she finds the remains of Sadako in the well. And they call the police, and the police come and take the body away, and they're going to bury her. And they think, oh, that was what she needed. She just needed to be.
Some closure.
Oh, my gosh. We forgot the bit where Yuichi watched the freaking tape.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. Well, he couldn't sleep the one night.
He couldn't sleep. And he's actually hearing Tomo. He's hearing his cousin talk to him.
Right.
So obviously there's a bit of medium in
Going on
him
in
as
him.
well.
Yeah, it passed down from
and
the father
Tomo
to the
tells him
son.
to watch the tape. So now both
Which kinda
parents,
fucked up.
yeah, really, both parents now have a big incentive to solve this because he's going to die right after them.
This
if they
entire
don't.
family has watched the tape.
Yeah, including the end, which is kind of fucked up, but we're getting there. So they think they've solved this because they think that's what she wanted. She just wanted to be found. She just wanted to be heard. She just wanted to be buried.
Yeah.
And that you would think that would be it. And it passes the time of Ryuki actually watching the tape, and she's fine.
Right.
So they think, oh, we've broken the curse. Yay.
Yeah.
Let's all
All
go
is
home.
well.
Let's all go home. So she goes home with Yuichi. And that's where she dropped Yoichi off at her father's for
Yeah,
a couple of
that's-
days because
yeah.
they were traveling all over
With
the
the
place.
island with the old
Yeah.
bastard.
And I guess she didn't feel comfortable leaving him home for the weekend.
Even she has her limits of shittiness.
One night, yeah, I can probably do that. But 2, I don't think I can. Plus, I may die. And
Yeah, if
come
Pops,
home.
you might have to keep all this kid for the rest of his life.
So they all go back home. And the next day, Ryuji
Yes.
is at home working on his little
Math
teaching
equations.
stuff. math equations. And the TV pops on, and it's The Well.
At that point, I'd have just been like, nope.
I'd be like, I got to go get some coffee. You're following me, bitch.
Yeah. Now's the time for that trip to Italy I've always been wanting to take.
Can you fly? But out of the well comes Sadako, and she walks toward the screen and then comes out of the television.
Slow motion, and more than enough time for him to get the fuck out of there.
Well, he's transfixed at this point. She crawls out of the television set.
Right.
And kills him.
Hurts. Hate to see it.
Yeah. And
which now I'm wondering, have I ever seen this dude live through a movie?
I don't think so.
No. Because everything we've mentioned, he's died in.
He's died in, yeah.
He's the Japanese Sean Bean.
Now, if they ever do a movie together.
It's going to be 12 minutes long. 6 minutes of credits.
Let's just walk on screen and pianos fall on both of them.
I didn't know Acme made this movie.
So he is dead. Yoichi wakes up and he's got marks on his arm from where Sadako has grabbed him in his dreams again. So she realizes that, oh my God, the curse hasn't been broken.
Right.
She goes over to Ryuji's, and he's already dead. So
yeah. The body? What do you mean the body?
Yeah, I'm his wife. No, you're not.
Not no more.
You just lied your way into a crime scene, woman.
Federal offense.
They've taken the body. And how freaking rude is that cop? I'm his wife. Well, they've taken the body away.
Right? They try to...
Damn!
Get some training in bedside manner or something?
You mean he's dead?
Yeah. We'll sit down. We have some things we want to explain to you.
Oops, I forgot that part. Sorry, ma'am. I'm new. I'm still training.
Damn it, Johnson. Knew we should have put you out here.
So she goes back home and tries to figure out what
she did that
different.
He didn't do.
And then she has a vision of him with the towel over his head pointing at her purse. And that's when she realized, I made a copy.
As a bit of a leap there, would you have remembered that copy? Because it seems like
it has copy on it.
That's a good point.
So I think that's what triggered her. Yeah. And she realizes, okay, that's what I did differently that nobody else did. I made a copy of this.
Right.
So then she gets this incredibly wicked look on her face and packs up the tape and her VCR and her kid and goes to see her dad.
Right. Which,
Dad, I have something I need to show you.
You don't. She just removed something from a crime scene. Pretty much is what she did there.
Yeah, because she does take the tape.
Yeah, police are like, all right, get it. She takes the whole VCR because it took.
That's her VCR.
It was her?
She went back, but she does take the copy of the tape from his apartment.
That's right.
Because that's what's in her purse.
Taking evidence from the crime scene.
Yeah, she takes evidence from the crime scene. It's just
breaking laws left and right.
Man. But yeah, she packs up her VCR and the tape and is taking it to her dad to get her dad to watch the tape. Which, is she going to tell him first?
But the dad doesn't need to watch the tape.
Well, the kid's already seen the tape.
The kid's already seen the tape, so he's good.
No, he's seen the tape, so he's going to die in a day.
Oh, but he has to copy it to show
He has to copy it and show it to somebody else.
That's right.
So she's chosen her dad.
Oh, he's convenient. Right? Like, who else is it going to be?
And she doesn't really. She calls him up and says, "Dad, I have something that I need you to watch. It's for Yoichi." And I'm like, and I need a favor. I'm like, that's a hell of a favor, honey.
Yeah, that's a hell of a favor. You got to follow the I'll explain more when I get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's where you're left. You were left with them just driving toward Grandpa's so they could kill Grandpa. Or Grandpa could always just have somebody else, make a copy and give it to somebody else.
This is why this is a fucked up ending. So, if I realize what's going on, so here's your conundrum. You realize what's going on, and the only way to live is to make somebody else watch this tape.
Yeah.
If I'm left with that choice, I can't copy, right? Because then you're just dooming all sorts of other people to death.
All sorts of other people. She's doing it to save her kid.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
So, but here's the thing. Can't he make a copy and give it to her? And then she makes a copy and gives it back to him.
Ooh, ooh, they're getting a call. I'm like, that's not in the rule book.
Yeah, just like, damn it, give me somebody.
Loopholes. Click.
Sadaku's like, I'm calling the same number again?
Yeah, just redial.
Give it to somebody new. Damn it, I'm a virus. You're not spreading me.
So, I mean, Grandpa can just copy it and give it to one of his VFW buddies or something like that, right?
Now, in the manga, because there's actually a manga of this as well.
They really milked this for all it was worth.
Oh, God. Let me tell you, yeah.
Cartoon's coming out next week.
This series is still going on in Japan because they recently just came out with Sadako versus Ju-on, where they combine the two universes of The Ring and Ju-on.
Okay.
And it's terrible. Oh my God. It's in 3D and it's in like the worst type of 3D where glass is just like raining down on you. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Are they still copying tapes in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I own the first 4.
Yeah.
I don't own the Ju-on crossover. And then I own, I don't have the Ring 2 or Rings, which we'll get into when we do the remake, but I do own the Ring. The remake.
Yeah. So all in all.
But in the manga,
yeah.
Grandpa volunteers.
He's like, I'll just take
He's
the
like,
L on this.
I will take it, and then I'll die, and that will end it.
All right, yeah. I mean, he's lived his life,
Yeah.
right?
And that's what he's already lost one grandchild. He's not going to lose another one because, he's lost his granddaughter.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I'll watch it, and then
we'll end it there.
Destroy both tapes and end it there.
And that should just end it for good.
That should end it for good.
All right, then.
Because this is interesting in that this entire thing starts with those 4 kids.
Right.
Because they're attempting to tape something.
Yes.
At the
and
cabin.
That's just the tape that they scoop up.
Yeah.
Accidents get clapped up
Yeah.
every time.
And this is something that just imprinted itself on the tape.
But that tape had to have been a copy that somebody else had made at some point, right?
No, because
Or is this
that
the
was
original?
that was the original.
Okay.
Because that was them trying to, I think they were trying to copy either a baseball game or something, and the reception in the cabin was terrible.
Oh, okay.
And that's what came out. And they watched it and went, what the hell is this?
And then they're going to die in 7 days.
Sucker! You're dead now. Finally, somebody. Just like sitting in the well underneath the cabin. Will somebody just tape something?
Put something,
please?
anything. Oh, bad weather coming up. This might be it.
Yay!
So, all in all, what do you think about this movie, Andy?
I actually like it.
Yeah.
It is very Japanese. There's a lot of the paranormal that you don't get in a lot of, well, now you're getting in American horror films because that seems to be all there is with The Conjuring. But,
Yes.
but
Whole universe.
yeah. I think the performances are really good. I didn't hate anybody in this one.
Yeah, nobody's really weak. I
No.
don't know. For some reason, I just really like that old man.
I do. I like the grandfather.
Yeah.
I wish they had actually kept the manga ending and he volunteered. I think that would have been a very
No, not the Godfather. The salty old.
the salty
seaman.
old seaman. Yeah, I liked him too. I like both old men.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Are you saying I'm old?
No, not at all. Not
I
at all.
am. But I like this one. And I think it's got kind of a home movie type feel that is creepy.
Yeah, it seems like it was shot for a fairly low budget.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like the highest grossing film in Japan for years and years.
1 billion yen.
Yes.
I have no idea what that translates to, but if you got a billion of something,
It's got to be a lot.
you gotta be
That's
doing
probably
something
like a
right.
candy bar in Japan. But yeah,
How
it
much?
was,
Oh, 3 billion? Yeah, hold on a second.
just, wait a minute.
I think I got that in my pocket.
I found $1 million outside. Just a minute. Let me go. But yeah, I like this one. I really do. I like the performances. I like the aesthetic of it. I thought it told a very good story, and it moved very nicely. There's
Yeah.
one draggy bit on the island where they get into the visions and the whole flashback
But
sequence.
all in all, this is like 90 some odd minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's 90 minutes, and I think it moved very nicely and very quickly.
Yeah, I agree. You ready to roll on to the...
Oh, yeah, let's go to
Before
the
we do that, did we even introduce ourselves? They know who we are by now.
Hi, I'm Carol.
Hi, I'm Seed. All right, let's go on to the American
So,
version.
American remake, The Ring.
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts, she was like the 4th choice, I think, for this. Jennifer Connelly was the first choice.
How does it feel, you think? Like, look, you weren't our first choice. Or second or third. we knew you were
Are
available.
you free? We kind of figured you might be.
We bumped into you in the coffee shop the other day. We realized you weren't doing nothing. So,
But I think this is her first big role.
okay. Yeah, it was
I think
one.
so.
It's the first time I'd ever heard the name Naomi Watts
Yeah,
that I remember.
I think this came out before Mulholland Drive.
It was strange enough. We were just talking about on Choose Her Own
I
Adventure.
love Mulholland Drive.
Are you a Lynch person?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, I am not.
He fucked me up with the Mulholland Drive though, because I rented it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it in the theaters. I rented it back when there were video stores.
You see,
And,
kids, for young people, video store is a place you went.
This was the actual DVD,
Yeah.
and in Mulholland Drive there is a flip switch. The entire movie changes mid movie. A switch is flipped, and you're like, "What the hell did I miss?" And I went to hit back chapter to see what the hell I had missed.
Yeah.
There's no chapters on the DVD. It started all over again. I'm like, oh, fuck you, David Lynch. Okay, so.
And
Naomi
that
Watts.
and Memento. There's one version of Memento out there. There's like a puzzle you have to solve, isn't there?
Yep, mm-hmm.
But if I remember correctly, like the key you needed came with the DVD, but back in those days, or
Yeah.
it came with like in the box,
In the box,
packaging.
in the box,
But I
yeah.
tossed the packaging, so I was like, I have a copy of Memento I've never seen. Thank God for streaming.
So, The Ring, Naomi
The
Watts.
Ring, Naomi Watts, Gore
And,
Verbinski joint.
Yeah, this is Gore Verbinski's first big film, I think.
Yeah.
2002. So this is prior to Pirates of the
Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah, because I remember when they announced Gore Verbinski for Pirates, I'm like, The Ring guy is making Pirates?
He did the Mexican, man, the Brad Pitt joint.
Oh, okay.
I unabashedly love that movie, by the way.
Okay. And Brian Cox, because it's 2002, and I think that was every movie was contractually obligated to have Brian Cox
You
in
had
it.
some
so-
Born in there. I think X2 was around that
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
I
this is the
think it's
heyday
just
of
like-
Brian Cox.
Every producer is like, so what part is Brian Cox playing? This is a romantic chick flick, and what part is Brian
Oh, so he's
Cox
somebody's dad. Is what you're saying.
or a waiter, an
yeah.
irate boss, something.
He does angry very well.
He does do angry very well.
Even the Super Troopers, he's angry.
Have I ever known him not to be angry?
Nope.
I can't think of anything.
Even in
Troy?
comedies, he's the angry guy.
Troy, he's angry. Yeah, he's just.
I'm
and-
Brian Cox. I keep getting work. I don't know what.
Can I just fucking retire?
You accepted the role, you dick. This one's a little bit longer. It's a couple minutes shy of 2 hours.
Yeah, and it kind of feels it. I will say right up there, it kind of feels it.
Ooh, a tip in the hand.
I watched these back to back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're okay. So we have basically the same opening.
Right.
Two girls.
Honestly, I think not a lot changes.
Not
with
a
the exception
lot.
of the supernatural.
Yeah,
business.
the supernatural bit is kind of taking. Well, other than the fact that you have no idea what Samara is because they changed the name from Sadako to Samara.
Yeah, right.
Other than she's the little girl that does the voice of Lilo, and I can't watch Lilo and Stitch anymore.
Lilo out here just killing people wantonly.
So you get the same opening. The two girls almost beat for beat the same opening.
Yeah.
And one of the girls is killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're introduced to Rachel,
Yes.
who is a reporter. Works for the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. Is that a word?
No. As a person who worked military intelligence, I can tell you, intelligencer, not a word.
Because she calls it the Seattle PI, which
Yeah.
is fine. But then there's a sign when she's at her desk. And I'm like, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer? Intelligencer.
I blame that 100% on Gore Verbinski.
Yeah. But she's a reporter. She's picking up her son, Aiden, who is the creepier of the two children in this film.
Easily the creeper of the two children. Like, I don't know why, but he was just way worse than the kid in Ringo.
Well, the Ringo kid is younger.
He's younger, yeah.
He's 6. Here, I would put Aiden 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 9 or 10 range. Again, Jesus, the self-sufficient kid. This kid looks like he's got his driver's license and his freaking stock portfolio, and he's worth far more than you are.
Going to pick up the dry cleaning.
Yeah, I picked up your dress from the dry cleaning, mother. It's out there with your pearls and your shoes. He's got it all laid out.
He's
like,
got it all down.
oh God! So you're introduced to Aiden.
But your kids creep me out.
Yeah,
As an immature adult myself.
he's a very creepy child who's
Right.
drawing very creepy pictures for his teacher.
Right.
And you're introduced to Rachel, who is abrasively rude.
Yeah, that's an easy way of putting it. Yeah.
She just walks in cursing. The teacher asks her to sit down. She sits on the desk and looks down on the teacher, which
noticed
I found
that.
very.
Yeah. I was like, is that Was that deliberate? Are
I'm
we supposed to
ass-
not like her at first?
I think we're not supposed to like her at first. Unfortunately, I didn't like her the entire film. And she call me Rachel, and the teacher calls her. I can't even remember what her last name is, but she calls her Ms. Whatever again. It's Rachel. Even my child calls me Rachel.
Which I'm like, oh yeah, shitty parenting skills.
Yeah.
Put on display yet again.
But the teacher's worried because Aiden, who just lost his cousin 3 days ago, has been drawing pictures of her dead and in the grave for over a week.
Right. A little bit weird.
A little bit weird, and quite frankly, it's probably not the creepiest pictures this kid has drawn in the last month.
And obviously, honestly, I wish we fuck the ring. I wish we got a whole horror movie about
Aiden.
Yeah, right.
Being creepy.
It is not even like a blatantly scary movie. It's just him doing regular things in life. Mother,
meals.
I picked up the groceries yet again.
I've made you an omelet, mother.
I called your Uber for you again.
So his cousin has died. Her niece has died. They go to the funeral, and again, it's very much, I laid your dress out for you.
Yes.
He's tying his own little tie on his suit. I'm like, oh my God.
Which makes you wonder if she's never around, who taught the kid, or did he teach himself everything?
I'm assuming he just taught himself everything. This is prior to YouTube.
That's prior to the internet. How did you learn how to tie that tie?
I think he's just knocking on doors. Hello, can you teach me socioeconomic?
Not can you tie my tie for me, but you lead him the water. You lead him the water, but you gotta, can't make him drink from it. Teach a man to fish and all that.
So they go to the funeral, and it's very much like the Japanese version. They go up to the room. Rachel finds the receipt for photos. Her sister asks her to investigate the death because
you work for the Intelligencer.
Yes. You must be more intelligent than most people because you work for the Intelligencer.
The Intelligencer she's almost been fired from who knows how many times.
And this is the first time you actually see the dead bodies in this film, where drastically different from the Japanese, which just have like a horrified look on their faces.
I like the fact that we just got the quickest one frame flash before we actually see them.
Yeah. And her face is just all mutated and
distorted
and gray, and frankly, if anybody was found that way and there was no drugs or anything in the system, I think the CDC would have been called in. Forget the police.
Toxicology report came back. Oh, what was she on?
Nothing.
Advil.
Okay, we're putting a lockdown on the house. Bring in the CDC. Hazmat teams.
But no.
So no. Just a closed
Let's get the Intelligencer in here on this.
Just the hazmat team. And then we come to the first of my issues with this film is so dark. This is, I think, the first time that a horror movie has put a wash on the entire film.
Yeah.
I can't remember a horror movie before that it has done like a color wash on everything.
Yeah.
This has a kind of a sickly green hue.
Yes.
To everything.
I noticed that. Yeah.
And at the nighttime scenes, it makes it very difficult. I had to boost the contrast of my TV up because the kid who's talking to Rachel outside was just this face floating in nothing. And I'm like, I need to see a hairline or something.
On behalf of Paprika, we apologize for you needing to adjust the settings on your television. Hopefully you got them back to normal.
Yeah. So she goes outside to talk to the kids, and she's the worst reporter. She's like, yeah, I remember when I was a teen, my girlfriend and I, dragging on a cigarette, we used to go up to my room, get high. Do you think she was on anything like that? Wow, that is like the worst reporting ever.
The worst woman in the field I've ever seen.
Yeah, and they're like, it wasn't like that. It was a tape. Ooh, yeah, her and her boyfriend's dead, and they're all four of them are dead because they watched the cursed tape.
Now, how did they know they watched the tape?
I'm assuming they said something.
Okay. Hey, guys, we watched this tape. Is that what you said about in conversation?
If you actually see the tape, why would you? Yeah, we watched this tape. It was really weird. Caterpillars, lady combing her hair.
And they move on to the next subject.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if they want to talk about like the... and then we get the phone call.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the phone call. Yeah, or I'm assuming this is the same as the Japanese version where they were trying to tape something and that's how the tape came into existence. Because there's no indication that this has happened before. That's
why you can't make this movie nowadays.
Yeah.
Because no one's taping. We're trying to stream this joint one time.
They tried with Rings.
Oh.
But I'm assuming that. So, yeah, we were taping a football game and this weird shit got taped. I can see them talking about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they're saying, yeah, Becca is in because that's the second girl. She's in a mental hospital.
Yeah. Do you get any kind of, because I was kind of keeping an ear out for it, but I can't remember. In the Japanese version, did we get any kind of closure on what happened to the other girl? Was she also?
No, she was in it. They say that she went crazy, but they don't visit her at all.
Ah, well.
So, yeah, she's just.
That's up to her
she's
parents.
Gone. Yeah, she's gone completely. But, yeah, they say Becca's in the mental hospital and the other 3 kids are dead, and she decides she's going to investigate because
Right.
she shushes off her editor, and I've got a good story breaking because these 4 kids died at 10 p.m. And she does the thing where she goes to the cabin, and the guy who owns the cabin is like, well, they didn't pay. How did you rent them a cabin without payment beforehand?
People pay up front, even back in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she rents the cabin.
And
Sees the
pays up
tape.
front.
Yeah, pays up front, sees the tape, grabs the tape, watches the tape. This tape is far creepier than the Japanese version.
Far creepy. The dude standing in the window.
Yeah, dude standing in the window. There's caterpillars, chairs flipping around, ladders, fingernails being broken off.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Fingers in a box.
Yeah, moving.
Most of the stuff is not explained.
No.
Dead horses, which is explained.
Right. That part comes into play.
But yeah, a lot of little weird things, and then the ring at the very end, and then she gets a phone call. 7 days. And she freaks out and goes home.
Is this my Amazon delivery? You said 5, you bastards.
I ordered this Prime.
I'll also look into that for you.
Sorry, I don't deliver those. I just deliver death.
Well, sorry for yelling at you. Carry on.
So she finally goes home to Aiden again because, again, this is a mother who just leaves her kid home.
That look, single mother, man. It's a
And
hard life.
She does hire a babysitter at one point.
That's right. And I feel that's somebody I've seen in other movies as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I meant to look that up.
Yeah. But she picks up the photos because, before she goes to the cabin, she picks up the photos and notices the one photo where the faces are all oogied out and then goes to the cabin. And then she tries to take her picture and everything is ooged. And so she calls in her ex-boyfriend, Noah.
Yes.
Who, I don't know how old Martin Henderson was when this film was done. He looks significantly younger than Naomi Watts.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, good on you. Good on you.
And I'm
I see the
wondering
game.
how he has a 10-year-old son. Was she trolling in junior high schools?
Hey.
But she calls in Noah because he's a photographer and a videographer and has the largest apartment in Seattle. And I don't know what he does for a living, but
He's not filming he's not doing photos for the
Intelligencer or something. No, he's making bucks.
Yeah.
But he comes in, you get that, you do get the scene where because Aiden has made his own lunch and I'm going to school now, mother. Runs into him on the street and they just kind of pass by.
Yeah.
And
do they stop or just a pass by?
They stop, stare at each other and pass by. It's very similar to the Japanese, except that it was raining in the Japanese one as well. But it's raining all the time in this film.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Ring takes place in the same universe as Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's the wettest film ever.
Wetter than Waterworld.
Yes, I was about to bring up Waterworld. It's like, no, more water than Waterworld. But Noah goes and she says, I don't know if I should show you this. And he's like, it's just a video. So he watches the video.
I was like, why'd you call me over here if you don't know you want it? It's gas money, man.
He calls it very student filmish. Which is
he wrong?
True. That is a very valid point. It is very student filmish. And then the phone rings. And this is the part where I started to laugh because the phone rings and she doesn't answer it.
All right.
And then he's like, okay, well, make me a copy and I'll
see what I can do.
I'll see what I can do. But there's a message on her phone. And I'm like, did she leave a message? I think Noah's there.
I hope I have the right number.
I hope this is the right number. Can you just tell him 7 days for me? My
you
callback number is...
Don't star 69 me either.
In the well.
Callback number is 800 WELL.
But she erases the message. I'm like, oh, come on, listen to
Yeah, she never does listen to it, does she? Yeah. No. Oh, man. That's gold right there.
So she goes and makes a copy. And this is where she starts noticing weird things on the film, like she'll pause it and the fly is still moving on the film.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool effect.
That was There's some pretty cool effects here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she gives a copy to Noah, who is living with a grad student, apparently. Or a grad student comes and goes as she pleases.
I figured I took it that she came and went
as she pleases. But you don't see a whole lot of her. I think, isn't that the chick from Criminal or NCSI?
I didn't recognize her.
Okay. I thought that was the chick from, the goth chick from.
Oh, wow. I have to go back
I
and
think
check
so.
that out. Yeah.
But I'm not positive on that one.
That's when I realized when Naomi Watts got all salty about it. I was like, no, there's a little something here. Yeah.
Because she gets all flustered and he's like, hey, there's this cool tape you want to watch. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's supposed to kill you in 7 days. Come over here. Watch this
check this
tape
out,
that kill you. And she takes the tape. She's like, no, I don't want anyone else seeing it until we know what it is. And then they start to investigate. And the investigation kind of goes it goes a bit different because there's no medium at the center of this.
They kind of have to explain more through exposition.
Right. Because
that's what Brian Cox does a lot of heavy exposition.
Because there was an island off the coast of Washington.
Yes.
Where Samara and her family lived.
Yeah.
And they bred horses in the rainiest place ever. I don't
The horses are like, God damn it. You want to run free without being wet.
They start following the path of Samara's mother, who committed suicide, and she's the one shown on the tape jumping off a mountain.
Yes.
And they don't, at that point, they don't realize there's a daughter.
Correct.
They start investigating the lady, because she's actually shown on the tape, and she's
the one brushing her hair,
and looking at giving you the side eye at the very end. I'm like, damn, lady, I didn't film this.
Yeah, don't blame me.
I'm trying to get the sequence of events down correctly, because this one kind of hinges on the sequence of events. Because Noah notices that the coding on the tape is bizarre.
Right.
It's like there's nothing that was recorded on the original tape. It's like coming into the world without fingerprints. It's like
there's no identity to this
right.
tape, because I think like the print on the tape will at least tell you how or what recorded it.
What recorded it, and there's nothing like that.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's all blank. Should be blank tape.
It should be a blank tape, but it's got these images on it. So he's a bit freaked out, and then he notices when he goes to the store to buy cigarettes that his face on the security camera is
it's all ugged up.
It's all ugged up. So he suddenly believes her,
he's
because
like, oh, shit.
he takes 100 pictures of himself and realizes.
I love how the woman at the register was like, "Yeah, your face is all fucked up.
You're gonna die anyways from the smoking." So
it was also, yes, that was such a good scene.
He just looks at him. You're gonna die.
A little bit of comedy. Thank you, morbid cashier, for letting me know that.
And then Aiden, one night.
He's just like, nothing else. All my stories are done.
There's a scene where she calls her sister and says, can you watch Aiden for a couple of days? Because I got to go upstate. Because they decide they're going to go to the island and investigate the Morgans. And can you watch my kid for a couple of days? And I'm like, your sister just lost her daughter like
here
less than 10 days ago.
Can you fill your hole in your life with my kid, please?
Could you watch my kid?
Look, life or death depends on this, all right? Whoever can watch a kid can watch a kid. You got to exhaust all resources.
I'm like, how fucking rude. You couldn't think of, just leave Noah home and have him watch the kid.
How about you bond with your son for a little bit?
Yeah, because again, this is, absentee dad. He's not, although he creepily takes pictures of him from the playground.
Yeah, and the kid had realized that, right?
Yeah,
he recognized
he recognized. I see you take me my picture. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
And you hadn't told anybody about this?
Creep out there, Dad.
I think in this version, that kid kind of knew.
This kid knows, because he's like, yeah, Rachel said you were both young.
That's right. That's right. The kid knew.
And he calls his mom Rachel, and it bugged me every time he called his mom Rachel.
That ain't happening.
But so they go to investigate the Morgans, and Noah stays on land to go to the medical hospital that I can't even remember what. Oh, we're running over?
Yeah, getting close there.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. He goes to investigate the medical hospital. She goes to investigate the farm.
Yeah.
And meets Mr. Morgan, Brian Cox, who's Brian Coxing all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Noah does the worst job ever trying to impersonate a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
And
Somehow, during all his wiles, he manages to get in and get the information.
He breaks into the mental hospital, which is the easiest place to break into, apparently.
No way. They're trying to people breaking out, and I did.
And tries to get the videotape of Samara, because then they realize that there's a daughter. And he's trying to find the videotape, but the videotape's missing because Mr. Morgan
he
last checked it out. Mr. Morgan is just like, you have no idea what's going on. You don't know. Yeah. He beats Naomi Watts. That was truly, I think, the best jump scare of the film was the lighthouse light going around, and then he just appears.
Yeah.
And he's Brian Cox, so he's scary anyway. And he just
clocks her.
Yeah, and Noah's trying to get to the island now because he realizes that Morgan's dangerous, and Morgan hits her, but just leaves her there, and then goes and electrocutes himself with the most elaborate
man. There's the easy way to kill yourself.
It's just like, dude, you don't need VCRs and TVs. Just bring a toaster.
He wants to make sure the job gets done right.
He's got like
every job we're doing it right the first time.
He's got strips, electrical strips, and it's just like
water sloshing all over the place.
So
he takes himself out of the game.
He takes himself out. Yeah. They realize that he blamed his wife's death on Samara, probably quite rightly, because he says, she'll make you see things, and then they go to the barn and realize that that's where he kept Samara. Mm-hmm. Now, they don't explain who Samara is, if Samara is their biological child or if she was adopted. I
assume she was adopted. Because he said that we were trying.
Yeah. And then they leave the island and come back with Samara.
Yeah,
and
so I assume they got her from somewhere else.
Leave her in the mental hospital or something. Bring her back home.
Yeah.
But they go up there and find her little hideaway and see the tree etched on the wall, and Naomi Watts recognizes it from the cabin. So they go back to the cabin.
Yeah, they tear up the floor. There's the well.
Yeah, there's a well. Naomi Watts gets knocked down and obviously killed because there's nobody ever that could really survive that fall.
Nope.
And then she's underwater for like 2 minutes and wakes up. I hate when they do that, when you're knocked unconscious and you're underwater and they pretend you stop breathing for that amount of time.
Yeah.
But they find the body of Samara, and all is well. She just wanted to be
heard and seen
and buried and whatever.
About the same conclusion.
The time passes and her time, she doesn't die. So she goes back home with Aiden, and Noah goes back home to his huge loft apartment. And Aiden wakes up. Why did you help her? It's all right, honey. She's free.
Yeah, I like the way they presented it in this more than in the Japanese.
Why did you help her? You're not supposed to help her. Why didn't you say that like an hour ago, you little bastard?
You little shit.
I had you on the phone. I had you on the phone asking you about the house. Why couldn't you? Don't let her out. She's evil.
Yeah.
That's all you had to say.
Done and done.
But no, Samara comes out of the television set, very stylized, and kills Noah.
No, done.
And
Ugly face.
Yeah. And Naomi Watts runs over there, finds his dead body, leaves the dead body for the girlfriend to find.
Right? Yeah.
Hides while the girlfriend's coming up. and then she realizes she made a copy.
Yeah.
So she has Aiden make a copy.
Yeah.
And then they just leave it at that because they have you'd have no idea who they're going to give the copy to.
Hell, I assume as rat bashers as they were in this movie, just any old person that's passing by is going to get the copy.
There is an extended
the teacher,
version.
That's going to get the copy.
There's an extended version.
Yeah.
Where a child molester who is being released, that's who she gives the copy to.
Perfect.
Because if you see a picture of Chris Cooper in the newspaper and you're like, what the fuck is Chris Cooper doing in the newspaper? He actually had a part in the film. He was this child molester that she was interviewing.
Oh, okay.
And he was about to be released because somebody botched his case, and that's who she was going to give the tape to.
That's a nice little bow on thing.
Yeah, so, but they cut all of that out.
So all in all, which one do you like better? You like the Japanese version better?
I'm going with the Japanese version mostly because the Verbinski one is so stylized that it kind of loses a lot of the fear factor for me.
Yeah.
I don't like that green wash all over everything.
Yeah.
And I did not like Rachel.
Yeah. I didn't like Rachel either, but I'm going with the American version because I liked how stylized they did things. Like I watched I watched Ringu with Leslie, and she's like, I thought this movie was supposed to be scary. Like, neither one of us were
I don't consider either one of them to be masterpieces or particularly scary. Because I'm like, well, what if your TV was like hanging on the wall? Does she fall?
Yeah.
What if you're at the mall? Does she like crawl through one at Sears and just like make everybody insane until she finds you?
Look, if you only got 7 days left to live and your clock is 0 and you're just hanging out in the mall, then we have problems.
The whole concept of Sadako Samara just doesn't like... this doesn't quite work for me.
Right.
What if you're blind and you only hear the tape? Does she just make you partially deaf?
You're safe this time.
Damn it, get your eyesight back.
LASIK in 7 days. I made the appointment for you. So yeah, that's it. We are over our time.
Over our time.
Now.
Yeah, I talked way too long.
We will figure out what we're going to do for next time. We'll let you know. But until then, for all you patron donors, thank you for donating. We appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy this. We'll be back with our once a month schedule.
Yes.
Hopefully, yes. Until then, thanks for listening, and you guys take it easy.